Children of Strike Force. In this video, we are talking about the 10 most powerful teams in the entire MSF universe. T4 recommendations, Iso-8 recommendations, and honorable mentions. So if you are ready to find out who is the most powerful in all of MSF for winter of 2021, find your gauntlets and let's go snap it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello. What is up, Valley Maniacs? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, we are counting down, breaking down the 10 most powerful teams in all of Marvel's Strike Force for winter of 2021. Now, we do this every season, normally towards the end of the season, to see what is going on with the meta. And this is based on a few different things, guys. It's based on the performance of the full team in several different game modes. The four main ones that I want to focus on for this video: Arena, Raids, Dark Dimension, and War. Kind of skipping Blitz, skipping real-time Arena, but we're also looking at the performance of individual members in these game modes. So without further ado, guys, let's go start the countdown. And coming in at number 10 this month, boom, is the Wave 1 Avengers. Now, this is a strong team. This is a very strong beginner team. And one of the reasons I put them at number 10 is because it's very, very valuable for beginners. You can farm this team very early on, has some great members, still has a lot of late game synergy, great war defense team right now. None of these members of this team is very valuable in Arena. Towards the mid, towards later game, maybe towards the beginning of the game, they're very valuable in Arena, but not as much towards the late game. Very good in raids as well. They don't seem to have a lot of healing, but with the correct Iso-8s, this team can dominate some very early and mid-game raids. Dark Dimension, we got a couple different candidates for Dark Dimension. I personally took in Black Widow. I know some people are doing a Black Widow Hawkeye combo for those global nodes. And Captain America, no slouch either, because of the defense up and the energy that he gives. And in War, you're seeing this all over the place. A lot of times hybrids. Sometimes people still have Thor on the Asgardians, but I think this is the best version of this team. Now, when looking at T4s, guys, this is the best T4s as chosen by the community, as equipped by the community in MSF.gg. The most important, or the most equipped T4 for the community is that passive of Captain America. Does some very good stuff. Then you also get the passive of Black Widow, passive of Hulk, and then the passive of Hawkeye. All of their passive, probably the most valuable T4s for this team, guys. And yeah, all of them pretty much recommended. Now, when talking about Thor, he's not on this list because technically he's not on the same team in the algorithm of Wave 1 Avengers. But as far as T4s, best T4s is going to be his passive at about 38%. So right about here in this number 3 spot for his passive. And ultimate falls right around here. So what would be the number 6 spot when you include that other Thor is a pretty good one for his ultimate as well. Does a lot of damage. So that is it for the T4s. Let's go take a look at the Iso-8 recommendations for this team, guys. And these are the most popular Iso-8 choices for these 4 Wave 1 Avengers. Captain America, most people using that healer tag for Captain America. Skirmisher is the most popular class for Hawkeye. Striker is the most popular class for Black Widow. And healer, most popular class for Hulk. And as far as Thor, the most popular Iso-8 class for him is going to be Striker, but a lot of people are also using Raider on this team. Now, let's move on to the number 9 team on the list this month for the winter of 2021, and it is these guys, the Brotherhood 2.0. Very, very strong. Still a very, very important late game raid team, excuse me, not raid team, war team. Very important to counter a lot of the meta teams. These Brotherhood 2.0 teams can still do it. Now, as far as Arena, these guys have kind of fallen off. You're not going to see any elements of this team in Arena, but in maybe earlier games type of Arena shards, you might see some Magnetos. He still is an excellent character for that game mode, and this team is just very, very important in War. Now, in raids, I still see Magneto once in a while still offers some value. Sometimes people using a Magneto Juggernaut combo, especially if you don't have other mutants to use in certain mutant lanes for the Greek raids. Dark Dimension, I know at least up until Dark Dimension 3, Magneto was a very popular choice. I don't know if he's a very popular choice in Dark Dimension 4 because of the new legendary restriction and the amount of T15s that he takes, but good character. Pyro has a little bit of value as well. And then when we talk about them in war, they can counter a lot of teams. One of the most popular teams that they can counter right now is that Inhuman Fury Coulson combo with Black Bolt, Yo-Yo, Crystal, Fury, and then Coulson. They could counter these guys. They could counter Shield, the original Shield team. That's kind of what they were designed for. They could counter that first team on this list, those Wave 1 Avengers as well. Also countering Pimtech. Pimtech's kind of a floater team that kind of excels at offense and defense in war. And you can punch down with the Brotherhood 2.0 against the Mercs and the Doc Ock 6. Let's go take a look at their T4s, guys. And the most popular T4 for the Brotherhood 2.0 seems to be that passive for Magneto. Now, these I think are the 4 most important T4s for the entire Brotherhood 2.0 team. And that is the passive and special of Magneto, the special and ultimate of Pyro. I remember when I did these T4s all the way back in the day when the original Brotherhood was released in the game. It made a huge difference for my entire Brotherhood team. I think these are the most important. These are also very good. We got some T4s in Juggernaut and Toad as well. But let's go take a look at their Iso-8 classes, the most popular Iso-8 class choices with the entire community. And here is what they are. We have the Toad. He most popular choice for his Iso-8 class, he uses the Skirmisher class at 68%. Pyro, most popular choice is Striker. Magneto, most people have that Raider Iso-8 class on him, and kind of a toss-up with Blob and Juggernaut. Striker and Fortifier seem to be the 2 most popular choices for Blob, and Fortifier and Striker seems to be the most popular choices for Juggernaut. So both of these with that Striker Fortifier class. But that is the Brotherhood 2.0. Let me know your thoughts on this team. Let me know if you guys are still using these guys a lot, all over the place. But let's move on. It is time to move on to the next team. Number 8 on our countdown is these guys, the X-Force. One of the best war offense teams in the game, guys. They can counter a lot of teams. They can counter the Mercs, the Marauders, the Asgardians. They can counter the Ox 6 and the Inhumans with Fury Coulson with a slight punch down, but they pretty much can counter a lot of the teams in the game. And as strong as they are on war offense, they kind of fall off on other game modes, but they're so strong on war offense, they still made that number 8 spot just with that in their own, because you don't really see elements of this team in other game modes. You don't see them a lot in Arena, not a lot in raids, maybe X23 in the raids, but not a lot of these other characters. And I don't know if any of these characters are really awesome choices for Dark Dimension, unless you have a lot of red stars on these characters. So I probably would avoid this team for Dark Dimension, but very, very good. Let's take a look at in war. They're very good in war, but let's take a look at their T4s, guys, see what makes them tick. Boom. One of the best ones is this one, the passive of Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Also a very, very good passive for Domino as well. One of the most important characters on this team is X23, and we got our passive in here. We got every single one of her skills in that top 10 of this team, guys. But yes, X23 and Negasonic, I think they are the 2 most important characters that you want to invest the most in. But these passives are also very good of Domino and Negasonic. Very good stuff here. Let's take a look at their Iso-8 classes though, guys. Boom. And with X23, Striker seems to be the most popular class amongst the community on MSF.GG. Cable kind of split. The community's kind of split between Striker and Raider. We also have Deadpool very, very heavily in favor of that Raider class. Negasonic also very heavily with that Raider class. And then the Raider / Fortifier for Domino. So those are the most popular Iso-8 classes for this X-Force team, guys. But it is time to move on to the number 7 team. And a little disappointing that I had to rate these guys so low because they were so good for so long. It is the original X-Men. And now that Beast has moved on to that X-Men team, this team falls off a lot. He made them a lot better. Storm got a lot better with Beast. Now that he's off the team, Storm is a lot worse. And you're getting the triumvirate of Phoenix, Colossus, and Cyclops to really run this team. Now, they're very good in war offense still. There's still a very good counter for S.H.I.E.L.D., still a good counter for the Asgardians, and maybe some other teams out there. They could punch down against other teams like the Mercs and a few others, but just falling up. Not as good without Beast, now that Beast is on another team. But you'll still see elements of this team in Arena, especially Phoenix, Colossus, maybe even Cyclops, depending on what you have in your chart. Not a lot of use for these guys in the raids now that Beast has moved on. Even with that very weird kit of Storm that's supposed to be for the raids, these guys still are not that great in the raids right now. And as far as the last game mode, Dark Dimension, I think Phoenix is a prerequisite for Dark Dimension 3 and Dark Dimension 4. I think Colossus has a little bit of value in Dark Dimension 3, but because you're not able to use X-Men together because of that legendary tag in Dark Dimension 4, not a lot of value for Dark Dimension 4. Let's go take a look at his T4s though, and a lot of these are really good. The only one that I wouldn't recommend on this top 10 of what the community has done in this is this passive for Storm. I think she's fallen off a lot since Beast moved on, but pretty much everything for Phoenix you could do. The passive, ultimate, and special are probably the top 3. The passive of Colossus also very strong, and the passive of Cyclops also very strong. Probably could stop there if you wanted to go bare minimum, but that basic of Phoenix, I just end up using that a lot. So very good move. The ultimate of Colossus, the basic with Colossus, very good. Don't do that special like I accidentally did. And Cyclops has that awesome ultimate as well. The most popular Iso-8 classes for this team, guys. Skirmisher seems to be the most popular choice for Psylocke. Raider for Cyclops. Colossus, most people have that Fortifier, although Healer is a very popular choice as well. And in certain teams, certain builds may actually be a little better. Phoenix Striker seems to be the most popular choice with the community. And community kind of divided on Storm between Raider and Skirmisher, although with Storm, I don't know if it matters. She probably needs that Wakanda tag at this point. But it is time to move on to the number 6 team on this list. And I think it is very fitting that the Sinister Six with Doc Ock is the number 6 team this season, guys. And not a lot of use of Electro, Swarm, Mysterio, Rhino, or the other members of Sinister Six, but you'll see Doc Ock in many different game modes. I still see him in Arena on defense, in the raids, very useful in the raids, especially if you're going for those Doom raids and that tech lane. Dark Dimension, I think he's a great choice for Dark Dimension 4 as one of the legendary characters. Now, as far as War, these guys are more of a hybrid team. They're very good on defense, very good on offense. If you're using them on offense, you could counter a lot of the meta teams that are in Marvel Strike Force right now, like the Mercs, like the Marauders, like the Black Order, and the She-Hulk version of that Fantastic Four, and also S.H.I.E.L.D. if you still see that on defense. Let's take a look at their T4s though, see which are the most popular amongst the community, and it seems to be this one right here, this passive of Doc Ock, the special of Doc Ock, the ultimate of Doc Ock comes in at number 4, the ultimate of Electro comes in at number 4 as well. Some very good T4s, some very good recommendations. But this is what is most popular amongst the community as far as T4s, and this is what is most popular amongst the community with Iso-8. Raider for Electro. Healer, big healer, especially with the bug going on right now in War. Healer, especially if you guys are using this team on War defense. Healer, especially at level 5, Doc Ock is very good. Striker for Swarm. Fortifier for Rhino, and Skirmisher / Striker seems to be the most popular choices for Mysterio. And moving on to number 5 on this list, and I think this team gets broken up a lot, but elements of this team still very strong, still very relevant in a lot of different game modes, and it is these guys, the Inhumans, one of the first counters to Hydra, the Red Skull version of Hydra. And yes, they also can counter the Asgardians if you're using them. They can punch down against the Marauders. They can punch down against the Mercs. They can punch down against the Doc Ock 6, although I know a lot of people are splitting this team up. I know I'm splitting them up right now, placing them on War defense with Coulson and Fury, removing Karnak, removing Quake. But yeah, you'll still see elements of this team, especially Yo-Yo and Black Bolt in Arena, in the raids. Dark Dimension, Black Bolt is a good choice, but I don't know if he's a better choice than some of the symbiotes, and that's kind of the problem with Black Bolt in Dark Dimensions. He's a bio character. The symbiotes are bio characters, so he kind of loses a little bit for Dark Dimension there, but if he wasn't a bio character, if he had a different tag, he would still be very, very valuable. Let's go take a look at the T4s for this team, though, and Lot and Black Bolt. The most popular T4s for this entire team is Black Bolt's passive, ultimate, basic, and special. I recommend doing all of these for this team. I think they're a very good team with this. This passive of Crystal, very good as well. Helps to give them more healing. And this passive and base, actually the basic of Yo-Yo is very good, but the passive is good as well. I probably would use the basic at number 8 right here for Yo-Yo, especially if you're using a Black Bolt Yo-Yo combo in the raids. If you're not using that duo in the raids, probably not as important to get that T4 for Yo-Yo's basic. But yes, very, very good stuff here. This is still a very good team, and Black Bolt's still one of the better characters, if not the best character in the game. Probably in the top 5. I don't know if he's in the best, if he's in that best character conversation, but as far as Iso-8s, guys, Striker is the most popular class for a Black Bolt. Skirmisher and Raider for Yo-Yo. Raider Healer for Crystal. I know with that passive healing, she does some pretty decent stuff. So I think the community is putting that healer on there for that passive that she does. Karnak Skirmisher seems the most popular choice, and Raider for Quake because of all her AoEs. But now it is time to move on to the new kids on the block. Boom, the Axemen, one of the most dominant raid teams in the game right now. Probably the best raid team in the game, considering what they could do at such a low power level. It took the Symbiotes probably over 100, 150k to do the same thing that these guys are doing in the raids right now. And at about 350 or so, you should be able to fully auto Ultima 7.5 with this team. Now, this is not an arena team. Like I said, this is a very strong raid team, and you guys could use them fully if you're in the Gamma raids or in the Greek raids and not able to use Bishop because of some of the nodes, because he has that cosmic tag. You got a good replacement with Emma Frost, X23, bunch of different stuff, but most of these characters are going to be on that team because they are so strong. Now, as far as Dark Dimension, I think Jubilee is a good choice for Dark Dimension 4. Granted, if you've done characters that are probably a little more important, like Sinister and Phoenix, if you have some extra mutant gear around there, she could be a good choice. And yeah, in War, I think they're good on War defense and on offense. I think they're another one of these hybrid teams. But if you're going on offense, they could take out some very good teams as well as Guardians. If people are still running them on defense, the Doc Ock version of the Sinister Six, the Marauders, the Mercs, Shield. These guys do a lot. Let's go take a look at their T4s though. Boom. Most popular T4s are a lot of Jubilees. If we see all 4 of her T4s in this top 8 right here, the passive seems to be the most popular with the community. The passive of Bishop seems to be the second most popular. Iceman's passive and Kitty Pryde's passive, all very, very good. Beast Special is also very strong as well because it's clearing all the positive or the negative effects. That is one T4 that I think is very good that is not on this list though, but these are all very good choices for your T4s. And as far as Iso-8 classes for your Axeman, there's a lot of different combos that work, guys, and I think a lot of it will depend on your red stars for these characters, but I think a lot of these 2 different Iso-8 classes work. Bishop, Striker, Skirmisher. I know it's a kind of a toss-up right now between which is better. It is up to you. I think I have Striker on my Bishop right now with the most popular choice of the community. Healer seems to be another popular choice for Kitty Pryde. I think I have Striker on her right now. Her basic is very, very solid. And so is Jubilee. These guys, the T4 choices are, you got a lot of options here, but Kitty Pryde, very good. Striker also is a good choice because of that awesome basic that she has. Jubilee has a great basic as well with blinding, so that Striker is a good choice for her. But Skirmisher, in some cases, depending on your build that you're going for, Skirmisher might work on Jubilee. Healer seems to be a no-brainer for Beast. And Iceman, the community is divided as well between the Raider and Skirmisher class. And that is the Axemen. Very good team. Let's move on, though, to number 3 on the list for winter of 2021. It is these guys, the Marauders. Very strong war defense team. Probably one of the most, the toughest war defense team outside of the Black Order. And yeah, they put them on D. They can counter a lot of teams, and you'll need to have some specific counters or some hybrid counters to take these guys on. But as far as arena, Mr. Sinister, I think he's going to have a lot of viability for a while because of that clone mechanic. So feel confident to put red stars on him. Emma Frost, I did a battle today that Emma Frost was on war defense. So still a very, very important part of the meta. If you could get these guys at early game, then build them up because they're going to have some value for you all the way up until end game. You have the raids, Mr. Sinister and Emma Frost, again, very, very strong in the raids. Although Mystique, I use once in a while in Ultima 7 for that last boss node. And then, yeah, war defense. Dark Dimension, you got some good choices as well. Mr. Sinister is a good choice. Emma Frost is a good choice if you have the mutant gear. A little bit expensive as far as the mutant gear for her, though. And then you have Saber-Tooth. I'm using Saber-Tooth in Dark Dimension. Not that he's a great character, though, but very, very cheap. And if you're looking to get a character, just get in and kind of be carried by the rest of your characters on the team, Saber-Tooth is an excellent choice, but don't expect him to do a lot in Dark Dimensions. I'd like to take a look at the T4, the most popular T4s that the community has, and a ultimate of Emma Frost, very, very strong. This clone mechanic, I would argue, would be possibly a little stronger because this puts the T4s in every single move of the clones. The passive is also very important for Mr. Sinister. And then you got the special and the passive for Emma Frost. You could do all 5 of these guys. I think these are the most important T4s for this team. And as far as Iso-8 classes, Fortifier / Healer for Strife. You pick depending on what you're doing, but I think I have Fortifier on right now. I used to have Healer on, and I kind of switch back and forth, kind of experimenting. Now, if you're using Emma Frost to attack with, I like the Striker class. She has a very strong passive, but if you're using her to defend, war defense, arena defense, anywhere else, I like to lock in this Healer class. But personally, I like the Striker on her when I'm attacking. Mystique, Skirmisher, / Raider seems to be the two most popular choices. Healer seems to be a big no-brainer for Mr. Sinister, and Raider / Skirmisher are the two most popular choices for Saber-Tooth. But now it is time to move on. We are in the top 3. But let's keep going. We are going to the number 2 spot, and that is these guys, the Symbiotes. One of the most dominant teams in many, many different aspects of the game. They are dominant in their raids. They get a little more investment than the Axemen, but still, if you don't have the Axemen, if you don't have that legendary Jubilee, this is going to be the best raid team that you can make if we're not talking about hybrid teams. Now, as far as arena, I don't see the Symbiotes that much. I'm thinking maybe in some of these mid-game shards, people might be using Symbiote Spider-Man, maybe using Arena Anti-Venom, but I don't see these guys in Arena too much. And as far as Dark Dimension, if you got the Bio Gear, I don't see a problem in bringing all of these characters up. But if you're really limited as far as what you're doing, I think the two best characters that you could use the gear for is Symbiote Spider-Man and Anti-Venom. Scream has a little value in Dark Dimension 4 because of very cheap to bring in this character as well. So there's some value there. And on War offense, these guys counter a lot of different teams. They can counter a full Asgardian team, an Emma Marauders team. A lot of times when I'm punching down, though, I'm countering that Emma Marauders team. They can punch down against the Black Order, punching down against the Doc Ock 6, and in that Inhumans, Fury Coulson team. Very, very good. But yeah, the second best raid team if you have the Axemen, the best if you don't have Jubilee and don't have that full Axemen team. But let's go to look at their T4s. What are the most popular T4s? And it is that passive for Symbiote Spider-Man and that passive for Carnage. And I think those are the two best T4s for that team. Getting all that speed, very, very important. Getting that healing in the raids, very important. And then ultimate for Anti-Venom and the passive for Anti-Venom. Good stuff there, guys. And yeah, you could justify probably until... Actually, I think I've done all of these T4s. They're all very good, and they all help this team. So if you're really going to build this Symbiotes, I think you should put all of it, at least these top 10 T4s into that team. Let's go check out the Iso-8 recommendations of this team, though. And Striker for Scream, Raider for Symbiote Spider-Man, Striker for Anti-Venom, Skirmisher for Carnage, and Striker for Venom. Not a lot of debates, not a lot of second place choices for these guys. I think this is a lockdown best Iso-8 for this team. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to move on to the #1 team in all of Marvel Strike Force, winter of 2021. And I regret to inform you that it is the military skill team. Why? Because I got a lot of good red stars. No, it's not. It is the Black Order. Did you expect anyone else? I mean, I don't know how it could not be the Black Order at this point. Will they get overtaken within the next few months? A lot of good teams seem to be coming online and rumors of a lot of good teams. So will these guys fall off? I don't know. But as far as right now in the game, they have not fallen off. Arena dominant. You see these guys on, they're probably the best arena offense team, probably the best arena defense team, although not a lot of arena defenses hold. Maybe some kind of combination with Dr. Doom in there may be the best arena defense. But as far as full teams, this is the best full team, non-hybrid team that you could bring into arena defense. You could bring these guys into raids as well. They weren't meant in the raids, but they have enough healing to keep them alive. If you have a very strong cull and you got that Ebony Maw that does a lot of that drain, you can use these guys in the raids. Ultimate 7.5, Greeks, whatever. Especially if you're only trying to do one node. These guys have a lot of power in one node. Ebony Maw Thanos, great choices for the Dark Dimensions, and Proxima, good kid. She could do offense down, she could clear buffs, she could stun, and she's a skill character. There's not a lot of great skill characters in this game, so not a bad option to bring Proxima as well. I don't see a lot of people bringing Cull or Corvus, and as far as countering, you could put these guys on defense. They'll give your opponents problems, but as far as using them on offense, I think that's the better way to go on War. They can pretty much counter everybody, anybody that you can within a certain variance of power levels of the teams. But yeah, these guys, they don't lose unless you really make a big mistake or you're trying to punch up too much with this team. As far as T4s though, we got a lot of good ones on this team. This is a very T4 heavy team. this still will be good without all the T4s, but I think you probably got to do at least these top 10 T4s. We got the special ultimate for Ebony Maw. The passive and basic, not that important for Ebony Maw. This passive for Cult, very, very important. The passive for Corvus Glaive, very important. If you're using these guys as a full team, you're going to have Proxima and Corvus together, and both of their basics, very, very good. And you could justify doing them all for Thanos. Whether using him in powered state or unempowered state, you're going to find value from all of the T4s for Thanos. So these are I probably would agree with the community as far as these being the most popular T4s for this Black Order team. And boom, let's go into the Iso-8. Striker / Fortifier seem to be the most popular choices for Corvus Glaive, or excuse me, Call Obsidian. Corvus Glaive, Striker seems to be the dominant Iso-8 class for him. Skirmisher for Proxima Midnight. Skirmisher / Healer for Ebony Maw, and Raider / Healer for Thanos. And those are the most popular choices, guys. Let me know what you think of this list for winter of 2021, guys. As far as honorable mentions, we got a few teams. Hydra with Zemo and Red Skull. When you combine Hydra 1.0 and 2.0, still a very good team, and you could use them in a few different game modes, maybe some Dark Dimension characters, maybe some raids, and they're on their own teams on War usually, but a lot of combined teams as far as hybrids, and they make a very good attack team. The Asgardians, still see them a lot, falling off as far as War D. They were supposed to be a War defense meta, but Hela, the reason they're getting that honorable mention not is because of Hela. Hela is still used in a lot of different game modes. Excellent choice for Dark Dimension 4 if you have all that gear. Very, very expensive character, but if you could bring her in, she'll make those cosmic nodes easy. And then there's Ghost. Ghost is very valuable in Dark Dimension 4 as well. And those global nodes seem to just fall apart when you have Ghost on your team. But the rest of the Pimtech, not that good. The only reason they're getting this honorable mention is because of how strong Ghost is. Using her in the raids, using her in Dark Dimension. She is good either on a full Pimtech team or as a standalone character on a hybrid team in War. So very, very good character, and that's why Pimtech gets that nod, guys. So that is it, guys. Agree, disagree with my selections? Let me know. Do you have a different top 10 list? Let me see that in the comments, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next time. Got another video coming out tomorrow. Give me a Hulk fist bump before you go. Make sure you check out some of my other videos. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys next time, guys. ValleyFlyin!